Now let's go ahead and add access control to the images in the images database. I want this to be as low level as possible because any application that's talking to the database should not be able to fetch an image unless the person who's trying to do the fetch is authorized to view that data. So that's a layer of added security that I get by putting it in the database layer instead of the application layer. So I'm going to go to my stored procedures and I'm going to edit fetch image. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to need another parameter that's going to be the username for the current user. And then in this query, I'm going to join that username with the users table to find out the user's role. And then I'm going to check that not only does the image set ID match, the image ID match whatever column they provided, and image set ID matches the image set ID that they provided. But I'm also going to check that either the owner is the same person as is requesting the image, because you can always look at your own private images, or the sharing level of the image from image sets is public, in which case anybody can look at it, or the role of the user who's trying to fetch the image is admin. So I'm going to give admins the right to look at any content on the site. That one is arguable. That's really a policy thing, whether you want to give admins the right to browse all images, but I'm going to go ahead and do that for moderation purposes. So let's go ahead and add a parameter for the current user, per user, and that's going to be a username, which is a varchar64. And then in addition to joining image sets on image ID equal column name, where image set ID equals that, I also want to join users on per user equal username. So that's going to give me the user's role. But then cur user is a parameter, so I actually want to put a question mark here. And then also use cur user here. And then I have to set cur user equal cur user. So this parameter is before this parameter. So cur user is before set ID. And I used an underscore here, so I'll use an underscore here too. Let me do that for call name as well. So call name, cur user, cur user, cur user. So this is going to give me the users table and the image, and then I want to add some additional conditions. So where image set ID is equal to set ID, and then I'm going to have some possibilities here. So the first possibility is owner from image sets is equal to username from the usernames table. And then the second possibility is sharing is equal to public. And I use backslashes in the SQL inside of this character string literal, this string, to escape the single quote. Or, and then the last condition is role is equal to admin. And then semicolon for the end of the statement. And I need a closing paren here to match this closing paren, opening paren. And I'm sorry, for some reason I had a little mental glitch there. And you're trying to access your own image or a public image, or you're an admin. Then you get access, and I should get a row back. Otherwise, 0 rows coming back. So let's go ahead and save that. And then fetch image is called from the share database class. And all I have to do to make the new version work is add another parameter here. And that's going to be a string. And actually, I want to pass in the cur user as a parameter here so that fetch image doesn't have to know about the user class. So I'm going to pass in cur user and then supply that as a parameter. All right, so now I'm passing the right things into my statement. And then this is still going to return either 1 row, or now it's going to return no rows. So then the thing that calls fetch image is actually fetch image here. So I just need to supply the cur user here. And I can get the current user by calling user : get user. So I also have to make sure that I've started the session before I do this. So that I get the right logged in user. And that should be enough for testing. So let's go ahead and I'm going to create a public image and a private image. So let's go to, I'm in image sets already, so I'll browse. So I have image 27, which is private, and 28, which is private. They don't have owners on them. So let me go ahead and edit this. So 27 will be owned by Mark, and it's private. And then 28 will be owned by Mark, and it's public. And 29 will be owned by Mark X70, and we'll 260, and it's private. And 30 will be owned by Mark X60, and it's public. Okay, so first, I'm logged in as MG-admin, so I should be able to see everything. So I'm going to try a rig image ID, and then 27, 28, 29, and 30. So 27. So class user not found. So I have to make sure that fetch image requires user class. Okay. And then missing argument 3 for fetch image on image set line 146, share database 163. So I forgot to do the application layer. So let's go to the user class here. And then fetch image. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I wanted the image set class. So let's go image set, fetch image. Now wants to take a cur user and then pass that into dbFetchImage. Okay, so the fetch image page is passing cur user into the image set method, which is passing cur user into the database fetch method. There. So 27, I can access it. 28, I can access it. 29 and 30. Okay, so as an admin, I can access all 4 images. Now I'm going to log out. And then I'm going to try accessing 27, and I don't get anything. 28, I don't get anything. 29, 30. So not quite working. So I should be able to access the public one. So let's see what's going on here. So 28 is public. So I'm going to look at the network traffic and reload. And then let's go ahead and see what I get. So not much. So let me go ahead and put a breakpoint in my shared database class right here and enable debugging. Hit reload. So cur user is empty. Set ID is 28, original image ID. So I make the connect. I call fetch image, or I create the query. I prepare the statement. Let's make sure the statement looks okay. Okay, and then bind param, execute the statement. So far so good. Not seeing any errors yet. Okay, then I get the result set. So I got null back. Actually, I got a result set. But then no values coming back. And then the result set is nil, so the result array is nil. So this means my query isn't doing the right thing. So let's look at that query again and see what's going on. Reload. Oh. So I want to edit fetch image. All right. So image ID and join users on question mark equal username. Okay, so here's the problem. When username is null, this join isn't returning any rows. And that means that I lose the matching row here as well. So what I want to do is a left join so that I still get the image coming back even when I don't have a matching user. So let's try that. Probably wants a left outer join here. Okay, well, let's go ahead and right-click and inspect this so I can actually see the text of the error message. Okay, so something near or role equal admin. So join image sets on that equal that. Left outer join users on that equal that, where image sets equals that, and owner equal username, or sharing equal public, or role equal admin. Okay, so I need to format this to actually see what it's doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and open a notepad window. And paste that in. And let's just do a little reformatting here. From images, join image sets on image ID equal, and then this will be like thumbnail image ID. Left outer join that on, and then I had an empty string equals username, where image set ID is 28, and owner equals that, or sharing equals that, or role is admin. So there's the query that I should be getting. Let's go ahead and see what happens if I run this query. And I got a row coming back. So did I lose some backslashes here? Yeah. Okay, so that's the problem. I lost my backslashes for some reason. I had backslashes before. I don't know what happened to them. Okay. So now it worked. Let's go ahead and execute this. Actually, I'm on this one. There. All right. So I can access 28. Let's go back to 27. No access. 28 is public. 29 is private. And 30 is public. Good, so that's working. Now let's try accessing it as mark, and I should be able to access the first two images and not the third one, but the fourth one, because the fourth one's public. So 27, 28, and 30 I should be able to access. So the first two are owned by me. So that one I can access, and then next one I can access. Those are owned by me. The next one is not owned by me and it's private. Oops. 28. This should be 29. Good. So that's not owned by me and it's private, so I can't access it. And then this one is not owned by me, but it's public, so I can access it. Good. So this seems to be working correctly. The only other thing I want to do is display an image if you try to access. So like if I try to access an image I'm not authorized to, instead of just displaying nothing here, I want to go ahead and display an error image. And so I'm going to go ahead and open the GNU image manipulation program. And I'm going to create a small image that's suitable for use as either a thumbnail, full-size image, or whatever. So new, and then width and height will both be 128 by 128. And let me make this a little bigger for editing purposes. And you can use any graphics program for this. I just happen to like the GNU image manipulation program. And then let me just make this a little smaller. Good. So text error. Not, you don't have permission. Actually, let me just make the font smaller here, and then I'll make it bigger as I need to. So you don't have permission to view this image. Okay, and then permission to view this image, and then we'll make it bigger. Okay, and then let's also make it bold. No, I didn't like the bold. And then let's justify it centered. That's actually here. So let's center that text. And then I'm going to disable I'll enable anti-aliasing. Okay, so that's close enough. Let me go ahead and reposition this a little bit. And then under Image, Merge Visible Layers. All right, so now I have a not very attractive image, but it will serve the purpose. And so I'm going to export as, and I'm going to save this right into my share project. So C XAMPP htdocs 295p share assets images, and I'm going to make this be error.png. Export, and then in my share code, in fetch image .php, here's where I have the image array coming back. And if I didn't get any rows, this should just be null. But I'm going to go ahead and put a breakpoint here and enable debugging just to double check what I'm getting. Hit reload, get rid of that breakpoint and continue. So image array is null. So if the image array is null, then I'm going to show that error, return that error image. Otherwise, I'm going to return the actual image. So let's go ahead and here, if image array equal null, then I do one thing. Else I do that. So what I do if the image array is null is I'm going to go ahead and create a constant in my image sets. So const, and I'm going to call this error image path, and that's going to be equal to, actually, so this is going to be relative to assets includes, actually I think it's relative to the page that's being loaded, fetch image. So I want the image path to be assets images error.png. Okay, and then in fetch image, I'm going to set data equal to file get contents of image set : error image path. And then I'm going to return, set the header, content type is image PNG, and content length is strlen of data. And then echo data. So let's try that. Error, you don't have permission to view this image. 30. So that works. That works. And that works.